All right, let's go over this Unit 1 test review. It says DM, but they're not all Delta Math questions. So just so you know, this is a review that was handed out in class. Point R is on line segment QS. Given length of segment RS is 11 and length of segment QR is 5, determine the length of segment QS. It says draw a sketch, mark your information. So here's a sketch of segment QS, and I put R on it somewhere. It doesn't matter. Just try not to stick close to the middle because we don't know that it's the midpoint. We know length of segment RS is 11. That's marking that. Length of segment QR is 5. We want to know the entire length. Simply add them together and we get 16. Number 2, point Y is on line segment XZ. Given length of segment XY is 3x and length of segment YZ is 3x minus 2, and length of segment XZ is 4x plus 2, determine the numerical length of segment XY. So draw a sketch, mark all your information. So here is segment XZ and Y is somewhere in there. Given length of segment XY is 3x, mark it. Length of segment YZ is 3x minus 2, mark it. The entire thing, length of segment XZ is 4x plus 2. So part plus part equals the entire segment. There's a part, here's the entire segment. So write an equation. 3x plus 3x minus 2 equals 4x plus 2. We're going to need to simplify. So let's combine like terms on the left-hand side. 3x plus 3x is 6x, and just bring everybody else down. We need to get all the x's on one side, and the best thing to do is to move the smallest one, which happens to be 4x. So we're going to subtract 4x on both sides of the equation. 6x minus 4x is 2x. Bring down your minus 2. 4x minus 4x, that is gone. So the right-hand side just ends up being that 2. Add 2 to both sides of our equation. 2x is 4. Divide both sides by 2, and x is 2. They want the length of segment xy. So we have an expression for that. Length of segment xy is 3x, and we know x is 2, so plug in the value of 2. So length of segment xy is 6. Number 3, solve for the measure of angle QRS. That's that angle right there, the whole thing. If measure of angle QRT is 32 degrees, mark it. Measure of angle TRS is 45 degrees, mark it. Part plus part equals the whole thing again. So 32 plus 45 is going to give us the entire angle, which is 77 degrees. Number 4, find the midpoint of the segment with the following endpoints. So here's our midpoint formula, just a reminder, and plug it in. So x1 is -1, x2 is 5. So we have -1 plus 5 over 2. And then we have the y's. Y1 is 5, y2 is -3. So 5 plus -3 is 2. I'm going to put the whole thing into Desmos graphing calculator, and you can put the entire thing with the parentheses and everything in, and we get our final answer of the point 2, 1. Number 4. It's another midpoint question, but it's different. It tells us the midpoint this time. It's the midpoint of segment AB, and M is the midpoint and is the point 2, 1. If the coordinates of A are 7, -3, what's the coordinates of B? So we want the other endpoint. So let's see. I said in class, stack them. That's the easiest way. So A's an endpoint, I put that first. M's the midpoint, it goes in the middle. And we're just going to use patterns. So on the left-hand side, how do we go from 7 to 2? We subtract 5. So do it again. and we're at -3. Let's check out the other side. To go from -3 to 1, we added 4. Do the same thing again, and we end up with 5. So there's our answer. B is at the point -3, 5. Number 6, we want the distance between the 2 points rounded to the nearest tenth. So we need to remember our formula. And our points, 5, -8 is going to be our x1, y1, and the point -3, -3 is going to be our x2, y2. So we're going to plug that in, and I put it straight into Desmo's graphing calculator. So -3 minus 5 in parentheses squared plus the quantity -3 minus -8, that quantity squared, and you get your answer of about 9.4. Number 7, find the measure of the missing angle. Well, that symbol right there tells us it's a 90-degree angle. So that means they're complementary. They add up to 90 degrees. So subtract the 63 from 90. Answer 27 degrees. So A is 27 degrees. Number 8, solve for the value of K. Write an equation and solve algebraically. Those two angles are vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent, which means their measures are equal to each other. So set them equal to each other. 8K plus 5 equals 9K minus 6. Get all the K's on one side, move the smallest one. So we're going to subtract 8K on both sides. The left-hand side is just going to have 5. 9K minus 8K, we're going to have just a K and bring down our minus 6. Get rid of that minus 6 by doing the opposite. Add 6 to both sides, and K is 11. Number 9, classify and name each geometric figure. So that's a line, and we can name it line PQ. It says use correct notation, so you need to recognize that. Possibly questions in Wayground for the test where you need to know the correct notation for a line, a segment, ray, and so on. So that is line PQ. That's a point, point A, and that's a plane, plane D, because that's a script D. There's no points on there, so that's the only way we can name that plane. Number 12, that's an angle. Angle EAR, you go around the angle. The vertex must be in the middle, and the vertex is A. So it could be angle EAR or RAE. Either way is fine. Number 13 is a ray. That's ray CD. You have to go from the end point through the point where it extends indefinitely in just the one direction. Number 14 is a segment. That is segment XZ, or it could be segment ZX. Either way is fine. Find the midpoint and distance, and now we're on a number line. So distance is the difference between their coordinates. So I did 3 minus -4. I don't need absolute values because I'm doing the right minus the left. And I said in class, if you do that, you don't have to worry about the absolute value signs. So the length, the distance between A and B is 7. Midpoint is the average of the coordinates. So -4 plus 3 over 2. Simplify, -1 over 2, or we're just going to get -1/2. 16, find the midpoint and distance, and now we have coordinates in the coordinate plane. So A is the point -7, 8, B is the point 8, -2. I can label my X's and my Y's with the subscripts. Midpoint formula, remember, is the average of the X's and the average of the Y's. We can figure out what is going to go into Desmos. So we're taking our X's, -7 and 8, adding them up, dividing by 2. And then we're taking our Y's, which is 8 and -2, and adding those together, dividing by 2. Put it into Desmos, we get 1/2 and 3, or 0.5 and 3. Distance, we're using our distance formula, and we can put this straight into Desmos as well. 8 minus -7. So this time we're subtracting our x's, y, or x2 minus x1, and we're squaring it, plus, and now we're subtracting our y's, y2 minus y1, which is -2 minus 8, and Desmos gives it to you. We're going to have 18.0, or just 18 would be fine. 17. M is the midpoint of segment AB, and they tell us the midpoint. So it's like another one we did just a little while ago. Stack them up. So A is the point, -514. M, our midpoint's -27. We're trying to find the other endpoint, point B. Let's see what happened. To go from A to M, we went up by 3. Do it again, and we're at 1. Let's see about the y's. We went down by 7, do it again, and we're at 0. So the location of point B is at 1, 0. 18. Classify the given angle and give the vertex and name the sides. So that angle says this is a, shouldn't be a, it should be an acute angle. Is less than 9 degrees. Vertex is A, and the sides are rays. And it does make a difference where you start. You have to start at the end point. It's always going to be where the vertex is. So we have ray AR and ray AN. 19. Give the relationship between the angle pair and find the missing angle measure. So that first pair are vertical angles. Vertical angles are equal, so X is 82. Next one, those are complementary, so they total 90. Just take the 51 away from the 90, and X is going to be 39. Because it says X degrees, we don't need to put the degree sign there on our number, our answer line. Oh my. So the next one, that's a linear pair. They're supplementary, which means they add to 180. So 180 minus 117 gives us our answer of 63. Number 20, for each pair of angles, give the relationship between them and then find the value of the variable, write an equation and solve, show all work algebraically. So these are complementary angles, which means they total up to 90. So 3x plus 12 plus 2x plus 13 equals 90. Simplify. Combine like terms on the left-hand side. So 3x plus 2x is 5x. 12 plus 13 is 25. So we have 5x plus 25 equals 90. Subtract 25 on both sides of our equation. 5x equals 65. Divide both sides by 5. X is 13. And we're done with that problem. Number 21, same directions. This time these are vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent to each other, so set them equal to each other. 6x plus 10 equals 10x minus 22. Move the x's to the same side, move the smallest one. So we're going to subtract 6x on both sides. So 6x minus 6x, that's gone. Left-hand side is just going to be 10. 10x minus 6x is 4x. Bring down your minus 22. So 10 equals 4x minus 22. Add 22 to both sides of our equation. 32 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4. X is 8. 22, same directions. These are now forming a linear pair. They're supplementary. So they add to 180. So 5x plus 7 plus 7x plus 17 equals 180. Simplify, combine like terms on the left-hand side of our equation. 5x plus 7x is 12x. 7 plus 17 is 24. So 12x plus 24 equals 180. Subtract the 24 on both sides of our equations. We get 12x equals 156. Divide both sides by 12. X is 13. And that is the end of our review.